Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your January the 1st just for today in a meditation. Welcome to the new year. I'm excited about your future, the new year for myself and for you. So let's get into it. Let's see what the meditation is holding for us today. The title of the meditation is Vigilance. Okay. We keep what we have only with vigilance. That comes from the basic text, page 60. How do we remain vigilant about our recovery? First, by realizing that we have a disease we will always have. No matter how long we've been clean, no matter how much better our lives have become, no matter what the extent of our spiritual healing, we are still addicts. Our disease waits patiently, ready to spring the trap if we give it the opportunity. Vigilance is daily accomplishment. We strive to be constantly alert and ready to deal with signs of trouble. Not that we should live in irrational fear that something horrible will possess us if we drop our guard for an instant. We just take normal precautions. Daily prayer, regular meeting attendance, and choosing not to compromise spiritual principles for the easier way are acts of vigilance. We take inventory as necessary, share with others whenever we are asked, and carefully nurture our recovery. Above all, we stay aware. We have a daily reprieve from our addiction as long as we remain vigilant. Each day, we carry the principles of recovery into all we do, and each night, we thank our higher power for another day clean. Just for today, I will be vigilant, doing everything necessary to guard my recovery. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer and the third step prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. God, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live. Wow, what a beautiful morning. January 1st. This is exciting. I just feel like some of the old lessons from last year, I'm going to be able to use them to be more vigilant in my recovery, more vigilant in my life. And I like this sentence here in the second paragraph where it says, vigilance is daily accomplishment. Being vigilant is not really something that I feel like I have a choice about. My recovery is important to me. With the time that I have clean, I don't want to land in the group of people that have become less vigilant and as a result have lost their I don't want to say lost their recovery, but in a sense, if you relapse and you pick up the drug, something is missing, right? So there's a gap somewhere. I don't want to be in that number of people that get decades clean and become so complacent and so uninvolved with the thing that helped me get clean that I feel like I can go back. I can pick up intentionally. And some people will say, well, it's not intentional. I do believe that there's no way for a drug to get into my body unless I put it in. And that is an intentional act to get high. That's not saying that things don't come up. That doesn't say that I'm not going to run up into a brick wall sometimes. I just passed through a brick wall. And I know for a fact that it's not over. This is going to be not even a brick wall. This is going to be brick hurdles. You know why? Because I'm getting older and my parents are getting older. My siblings are getting unwell. And so I'm going to take some losses. I understand I am going to take some losses. And so these are brick hurdles that I'm going to be bumping into along the way. And I just don't want to pick up over it at all. I don't want to become mean, belligerent, difficult. I don't want to become that type of person either. But I'd rather be that type of person than be that type of person high. Right? So whatever comes, comes. And I believe my faith in my higher power will get me through it. However, there's a piece of work that I must do, and that is remaining vigilant. And what does that include? Okay. So it talks a little bit about it in this second paragraph: daily prayer, regular meeting attendance, choosing not to compromise spiritual principles for the easier way, right? Because we have a tendency to want the easier way out, the course of least resistance. But here's the thing about it, and this is for not just the people that have been in recovery for a while, but this is also for that new person on here, right? The course of least resistance seems like the best option because right now you're struggling just with the daily maintenance of staying clean. And you're concerned about the wreckage of your past. You're concerned about all of the hits that you've caused to happen, and you're worried about taking any more. So if you've lost 100 different things and you have an opportunity to gain 5 or 10 in an easier way, and I'm not talking about material things necessarily, I'm just saying steps forward in your program, right? There's an opportunity for you to get some gains here. It seems like we would get more gains, right, than losses, more positives than negatives. So there's a tendency, I think, and it's I don't know, I feel like it's innate. Most people are like this, to want to get the gains. And a lot of times in the beginning of our recovery, where we haven't really figured out the exact nature of our wrongs, we haven't figured out our character defects and how we fall short, our shortcomings in step 7, we're definitely not entirely ready for any of that to be removed from us, because these are what we call our survival skills, right? These are the things that have helped us to make the few gains that we've made. So yeah, I want to stay streetwise. I want to know how to handle conflict in the street. I want to know how to get over on the next. But these are things that have helped me. So in the beginning, we're not thinking about not taking the easier way. We're not. We're simply not. We're thinking about making as many gains as quickly as possible. And quite frankly, I don't really see the difference between having instant gratification and making quick gains. They look so appealing. But at the end of the day, when we compromise our spiritual principles, see, here's the thing. Spiritual principles, they generally are a part of our core, and we develop them. I can't tell you what it felt like to be in years of recovery and find out that at my core, I believe in monogamy. I believe in intimacy with one person. And that violation, cheating, is something that is not okay with me and has never been okay with me. And the person that engaged in all of that non-monogamous behavior, at some point in time, it faced me, it slapped me in the face and said, now deal with this. This is who you've been, but this is who you are. You value monogamy. Now, how are you going to face yourself? How are you going to deal with it? It was really difficult to find out that I had spiritual principles laid deep inside underneath all of that garbage that I had been violating year after year after year after year after year. In fact, I had developed this promiscuous reputation. And now I had to figure out how to face all of these people that I've encountered, knowing that I had violated my own spiritual principles. So this is the thing about them. We can compromise them in an honest sense. I would like to say a lot of times we compromise our spiritual principles that we're not aware are actually there. That's why I want to be vigilant. I want to have the opportunity to take my time to do it right. I want to have the opportunity to sort out my emotions, my feelings, and I want to be validated. I want people to not mute me when I'm talking. When I say validate, I don't mean that I need validation from people to survive, right? I just need to make sure that people are not muting me when I'm If I have the courage to actually speak up my truth, even if you don't agree with it, I would like the common courtesy of being acknowledged that you have heard me, so that then when you act differently and you choose your own path, then I can honestly say, I have already told you this. We have discussed this. You said you understood it. And I choose not to engage, right? I have to be vigilant, and I have to be willing to have patience and take the time to do it right. And that's what all of my affairs today, right? When we're talking about step 12, practice these spiritual principles in all of our affairs, that's what we're talking about. And a lot of times when you're just coming in, sometimes when you've been here a while and you haven't really done any work in regards to the 12 steps, right, and the spiritual principles, a lot of times there's these gaps, these loopholes. And I just don't want to be the person that falls through them with 3 decades and then some clean. I want to be that person. It's important to me that I live the rest of my life in recovery, clean. That's important to me. Now it's your turn. What do you want to do to remain vigilant or become vigilant? Maybe you haven't been vigilant. And if you haven't, it's just it's a first step that you put on it, right? You admit that you got a problem and that you need some help and ask for it, period, right? If you haven't been very vigilant, you know that you haven't, right? That's not for me to judge, but I know for me, there's certain areas in my life where I want to become more vigilant because I want the fruit of the work. I don't want the downfall of having gaps in my foundation. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to have to take a bunch of steps backwards because I failed to be vigilant about the steps forward that I was about to take. I don't want that to be my life. Not this year, not ever, but definitely not this year. With the gains that I've made, I don't want to pay the price of being unvigilant, right? And so today I want that for you. I want for you to be vigilant. I want you to go into your new year with positivity. And I want you to have the best day, the best January 1st that you've ever had in all of your life, because this is the one that you get, right? I want it to be the best that you can make it. And I want you to have a beautiful day on purpose. I want you to have a beautiful year on purpose. You deserve it. Look at all the stuff you've been through. Look at all the hits, all the stuff that you have been through. Just kind of in your mind's eye, take a look backwards and say, whew, that was a lot. That was a lot. But today is better because I'm in my right mind and I have the power of choice because of my recovery today. And so why not protect the thing that gave it to you, your recovery, right? Let's be vigilant about recovery. Have a beautiful day, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.